In this video, I take on this beautiful, beat-up antique Barrister cabinet and attempt to restore it to its full glory. Can it be done, or will this DIY gal have to bear the bad news? That's hot. Did I enjoy that pun? Guilty. DIY friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Danie, and today's DIY in progress is going to be a super fun thrift flip. Well, I hope it is. If you watch my channel week to week, then this furniture piece will not be a surprise to you, but if it is a surprise, well, that must mean you're new here. So if so, feel free to hit that subscribe button, especially if you love furniture flips. We do a lot of those here, so what are you waiting for? So a few weeks back, I found the most beautiful 3-tier Barrister bookcase at an estate sale for a very good price, and now I want to flip it for an office. I'm excited to get started, so what do you say we get started? We're wasting time. Editor, roll that tape. Boop. The Barrister bookcase. I feel like we need to start this journey by first breaking down what is a Barrister bookcase, you ask. Let me tell you. Okay, so like many functional, wait, hold on a second. We need to do this right. That's better. Like many functional furniture pieces, the Barrister shelf was built out of necessity. Barristers, or lawyers that specialize in case law and represent clients in court, found themselves in need of a furniture piece that could not only store volumes and volumes and volumes of reference books, but also could be transported safely and easily as they traveled from court to court. Sounds exhausting. The Barrister bookcase provided a strong, portable option for storing and transporting a lawyer's reference materials. Then technology became a thing, thank goodness. We didn't need them anymore. So now we get to use them as fun decor items in our home. Superb. That's hot. So this bookcase is going to be flipped for my mother-in-law for her new office space, and she asked that the bookcase have 2 things. One, a copper detail on the top and a built-in section for mail and envelope storage in one of the 2 smaller cubbies. Coppers and blues is a very defined color for her space, so I said, no problem, Bob. But before we can do anything fun to this cabinet, we have a lot of work to do, starting with cleaning this entire thing, cause she nasty. So let's get to work. So let's talk about removing that cruddy veneer top. The entire thing had been water damaged pretty bad, and it came off really easily. Sadly though, the substrate material was also really damaged and showing some mold, so the entire thing had to go. Luckily, the entire thing bowled out super easily, and I was left topless. The cabinet, not me, to be clear. From there, I moved on to removing all the pre-existing hardware, which was challenging because this piece was so old and the hardware so dainty, so I had to be careful not to strip any of the screws. So as you can see, I'm stripping the entire cabinet, and this was a choice because it just had many scratches and blemishes all over it. This cabinet has been through a lot, and I just wanted to work on this piece from ground zero, so I'm removing all the finish on the exterior, interior, and the doors. I actually found the most effective tool was this soft bristle brush, just to help get in all the smaller nooks and crannies of the piece. Once the finish was gone, I then took my multi-tool with a 120 grit sandpaper and went to town. This cabinet had a lot of small grooves and weird spots, so the multi-tool was the perfect thing to use to get the job done. Not gonna lie, this process took a long time, like 5 hours, because I really wanted to make sure that I didn't miss any spots, so I just took my time and enjoyed my audiobook as I went. So once I was happy with the sanding, I moved on to fixing up the back of each cabinet piece. The original nails were so old and broken, and most have just started to let go, so I simply re-secured the backs with new nails. The backs weren't in great shape, but not in bad enough shape to have to replace it. So luckily, the new nails were all they needed to just make the entire entire thing feel super secure again. As a last task to my day, I wanted to rebuild a new top, and I was lucky to already have this MDF sheet laying around, so I cut this to size and fit it up, securing it down with nails. MDF isn't a typical base layer I would choose, but stick with me because this will make more sense very soon. Okay, honestly, I am so happy with the way that this stain looks. It's like a nice, rich brown. I mean, I can't even remember what it looked like before. Maybe it looks the same, I don't know. But I do think that there's a little bit more red that's come through in this, which is great because it means it's gonna look really good against the copper. So, like I was mentioning at the beginning of this episode, one of the requests from my mother-in-law, Daphne, was the fact that she wanted a copper top. So I went to the hardware store and I got these really flimsy, floppy copper sheets, which make the best sound in the world. I just love it. Let's move on. Because one sheet obviously wasn't long enough, I ended up getting 2 sheets. But just to make it look a little bit better, I think I'm gonna just try to create a line down the middle. Or what if I cut out lots of little squares and then create like a tiled pattern on the top of it? Interesting. So what do we got here? 32 1/4 by 9 like 15/16. Oh my God. I can do this math. I can do this math. 4. I think I got this.
Here we go again. You think by now I know better. Locked in my head, romanticizing forever. Last love I found, knees met the ground and all my roses died. Swore I was through, but looking at you, I think I changed my mind.
Okay, so I had to take everything off because I wasn't liking the way it was looking. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, let's fall in love for the fun of it. Diving at first into all of it. Oh, what a rush looking into your eyes. Playing it off like it's different this time. Let's break our own hearts for the fun of it. One look and I'm dying to run the risk. I'll live in your head for the rest of your life. Oh, won't you be my hopeless
I think that went pretty well. Was so stressful, but it did all fit up really nicely now. I don't love this one. This one didn't have as nice of a clean line. I might have to take a piece of oak and just like cut a very thin little piece to act as like a little trim piece that'll hide this edge a little bit. I think it'll be okay. I do have some other things that I want to do to this. Like we're going to be buffing it up so that it doesn't look so like shiny. It also really needs to be cleaned, but I'm going to wait for this glue to dry up. It does say it needs about 24 hours. I have a feeling it probably doesn't need that much time, but I'm going to leave it for that much time just because I don't want to muck with it. All that said, I think that the copper looks really cool. I'm kind of excited to see how it looks with the wallpaper, which I haven't even shown you guys what it is yet. I'm gonna go get it, and then we'll get going on the wallpapering inside that cabinet. So check out this beautiful wallpaper I found. I wanted something that would complement the copper and the vintage nature of this cabinet, and I think that this wallpaper does that and more. I love that it celebrates the East Asian culture. It looks very aged, even though it's a very modern take on this style of art, so I was just really excited to use this as the focal point inside. I learned today that you can buff out or de-shine metal using vinegar, salt, and a microfiber cloth. If this works, this is going to be such an easy solution. I feel optimistic, and I'm gonna give it a try, because as you can see, like, I tried to scuff it here, which you can kind of see on the camera there, and it didn't look exactly how I hoped it to look. So I'm thinking if this works with the vinegar and the salt, we're gonna be laughing. Apparently you wanna spray the vinegar and then let it sit on the metal. Really hope this works. Okay. Ooh, that is potent. Okay, microfiber, let's go. Is this working? Maybe if I do this with, okay, so I also have a scratch pad, so maybe this with the scratch pad and the vinegar will be in good shape. Don't you all get salty on me. I am just doing what the internet told me to do.
3 hours later.
How's your day going? Good? Good.
A few moments later.
You know what? You know what? That's not bad. Do you see how that looks different? That's not bad. Ah, yeah. We got a DIY win on our hands. Well then, I'm gonna finish these two and then I'll show you guys what it looks like after. This is sick. Or as the cool kids say, this is dope.
I'm with it. I'm hip.
Okay, well, that worked exactly as I hoped. For once. I love the way that this looks. Now, very fun, because I called Jeffrey when he was on his way home and he said he was stopping at the hardware store, to which then I was like, well, if you're gonna stop at the hardware store, can you pick up a little bit of trim? And he did that, so let me show you. Check this out. I got Jeff to pick me up this oak trim. It's just a flat trim on one side, and then it's kind of got this like little beveled edge on the other. So I figured this would be really nice on the front to just kind of hide that ugly seam. And then I got him to pick me up just a 1/4 inch like flat piece of oak. Out of this, I'm gonna cut little 1/4 inch strips, and then I'm just gonna hide these seams here. And then things won't fall into the seams and it'll just look nice and like cohesive. So basically, it's going to look intentional even though it wasn't. But as far as we all know, it was. And only you and me are gonna know that it wasn't intentional. Shh, let's finish this top. Good morning, friends. Today, we're gonna bring this whole cabinet together. I can feel it. Today is the day. I gotta say though, yesterday, Jeffrey gave me the best compliment one could get as a DIYer. He walked in and he saw the wallpaper on the backing and he said, "Did you put that wallpaper on there?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Wow, that looks like it's always been there. Like it looks like it's meant to be in that cabinet." And I'm like,
Thank you. But today, the first thing we need to do is get the original, so I was talking about these like wood pieces that were originally across the top that like helps them fit up together. We need to get those back on. Originally, they were secured with nails, but I think to make them really secure and to make sure that they don't come out, I think I'm just gonna screw them in. So I'm gonna pre-drill, I'm gonna add some wood glue, I'm gonna pre-drill, and then I'm just gonna screw them in so that they don't go nowhere for the rest of its life. So we need to get the tops on, and then we need to build the mail holder that's gonna go into one of the smaller drawers. So this was one of the requests from the person I'm building this for, which is my mother-in-law, Danie. So she really wanted something to hold envelopes and paper, like printing paper and everything. So I need to build that. But I wanna get the pieces that go across on there first, because I wanna know if that's going to affect the height in any way. Well, it sits across the top, so I don't think it will, but I do wanna take that into account. So we got some things to do, so let's bring this cabinet together, shall we? Kenobi's here for moral support. Oh my goodness. Woohoo! Okay, friends, we are almost done. Oh my God, it's looking so good. I'm just completely shook. I will say this, when I was putting this together, I did notice that the door and the envelope organizer that I made, the woods weren't really matching. So I ended up going over it with this stain. It's a gel stain. It's called Traditional Cherry. So it just reddened it a little bit just to match a little bit of this. And I think it worked out okay. So it looks so good. But we have one final step. That's this boy. So this is a wood polish and conditioner. This is by the brand Howard. It's a feed and wax. I love it because it smells really good. So what this is gonna do is just really seep deep into the wood, hydrate it nicely, and just give a nice polish on top of the wood to make it look so beautiful. Give it a nice protective coat, and it's just, this thing is gonna shine. So I'm gonna add this on top, and then I think we're done. This has been a good flip, friends. Really happy with this. I hope you guys love it too. All right, let's go finish this piece. Woohoo! friends, I am so thrilled with the way that this cabinet turned out. Honestly, I don't know what I would have changed about it to make it better. I love the way the color turned out. I love the copper details. I feel like it's so unique and it just makes this cabinet so much more special. Honestly, I feel like this is a brand new furniture piece, but then at the same time, it still kind of keeps the essence of what it was originally. I feel like we just updated it in the best way possible, still kept all the charm and the antique vibe that it had, but really just kind of made it better. But you guys should let me know, what did you think of this flip? What would you have done differently if you could have? I'm so interested. Let me know in the comment section below. And of course, sending so much love to my Patreon family. If you are looking for a community of DIYers to help you in your DIYing adventures, or maybe you just want to share your journey with a group of people who love to watch that journey happen, then my Patreon is definitely the place for you. Check it out. And of course, my friends, as always, stay positive, stay creative, and keep on DIYing. Bye-bye.